بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. One hadith attracted my attention, looking at it from a different angle, which is the saying of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, من عادى لي وليا فقد آذنته بالحرب. Anyone who takes or acts as an enemy to one of my close servants, wali, I'm declaring war against him. Who is declaring war? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Against whom? Against someone who is being bad or harmful or negative or destructive or obstructive against someone who is good. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declaring war. What kind of war Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does against a person? It can be in your health, sickness. It can be in your wealth, poverty. It can be in your education, ignorance. It can be in your family, misery. It can be anything, and it can be all of the above. So it's not war like he is a fight with you. And look at the next ayah. I've been part of the hadith. وَمَا تَقَرَّبَ إِلَيَّ عَبْدِي بِشَيْءٍ أَحَبُّ إِلَيَّ مِمَّا افْتَرَضْتُ عَلَيْهِ. And my servant will not get closer to me with anything better than what I have commanded him or her to do. Yani, for instance, you want to pray dhuhr, 4 rak'ah. If you pray 1,000 extra rak'ah and you don't pray dhuhr, you haven't done any closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The 4 rak'ah is more important than any extra rak'ahs. Once you do that, then you get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more and more with extra. But it has to be present. This is like going to college. If you study all the elective in the world, are you going to graduate? You have to take the main courses. And the obligations are the main. And fard is not limited to salah or zakah or sawm or hajj. Fard is anything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded you to do. For instance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَطِيعُوا اللَّهِ. What's the meaning of أطيعوا Allah? Obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَرَسُولَهُ, His messenger. وَأُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ, and those people who are in charge of you. And those people in charge start with the governor, go down in the list, maybe the boss in your company, maybe the principal in your school, maybe the father and the mother in your home. Those people in charge of you. That's a command, obey them. Which means if you don't obey them, you know the beauty of this, everything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded you when it comes to dealing with one another, you're going, or there will come a time that you will be in that position, the one in charge, looking for someone to have that respect that you were not doing when you were young. And Allah, you talk to your parents, you talk to your mom, you may raise your voice, you may shrug your shoulder, you may whisper something in negative to what he or she, your mom or your dad do, or maybe even say something very offensive to them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know for a fact that you're going to be a mother or a father someday, or you're going to be in charge of someone else, you're going to be owning a place. You will have a position where you're in charge, and you're going to taste the misery that you have been given to other people because of your disrespect. And that is the meaning of هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان. Good, the reward for it is good, which is the understanding of the opposite. Bad deserves bad. So when you are behaving the way you behave now, to people in charge, you're going to be in charge and you're going to feel the pain when someone disrespects you, or when someone doesn't obey you, or when someone acts arrogant over you and such. And a believer benefits from the examples. You read a story, you hear a story, someone did something and this is what happened to him. This is just an example that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you. So you say, hey, really, that is because of this and this, I better watch out. And I know you as kids, what do? You want to learn and experience yourself. That is not smart. That's not smart. If you don't learn from the mistakes of others, you're not being intelligent to be an example. You want to learn from the other examples, not you being an example for someone else. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you want to be close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fulfill the obligations. I don't think that a person who is so kind to his parents and so kind fulfilling the obligation, so kind to his teacher, so kind to the people at work and such, and there are other people, their friends and all, I don't think that person is going to live miserable when they become old. I think they're going to get the respect and they're going to get what they deserve, because that's a promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you say something to someone in charge, flip the sides or change sides and see if they told you that, how would you feel? Would you like it? That's what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us. Deal with people the way you like to be dealt with. And that is the system that we should have as Muslims. And there is nothing worse than ignorance of your religion that makes you deviate from the truth and makes you an extremist. What is extremist? It's impossible to find a true religious person extremist. It's impossible. You cannot find someone who is so rightly religious becomes an extremist who likes to kill and who likes to oppress and he likes to spread mischief and all. It's impossible, because the teachings of the religions are completely against that. So when you see someone so religiously looking and behaving so horribly, conclusion, he is ignorant. He is like a sponge. He is absorbing information, not translating and understanding the information that he or she has. They're learning it from the wrong source and fake righteousness that is built on ignorance. And that's the problem. That's the problem with most of us. When you, like for instance, Binti, Saja, talking results in cutting tongues. Is that extremism? No, it's not. Because it's a dua, that's all I use. You know dua, right? You know what dua does? You just heard the first part. If you act negative, now Binti is hiding as if she has nothing to do with the story. You're the initiator, my friend. Talking with someone talking is bad. We said that. Wallahi, when you pay attention, you look so respectful and you deserve respect. When you talk, it doesn't look good. Honestly, it doesn't look good. Especially when someone talks and the other person listens or reacts. We said that many times. It takes two, usually, to commit a sin. A person to talk and the other one to support or to talk with. So when you behave good, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes you feel good. Look how some of you, wallahi, some of you are Jews. Jews, literally Jews. The teachers can agree with this, that it's like you want to finish the class and you don't want the class to finish. Because you feel like they want you to give information and they're so encouraging, and some people so discouraging. When you show you know it and you don't know anything, that's a sign. A sign that you don't know anything is when you show you know it. A sign that you are not good is when you don't show goodness to other people. A sign that you're arrogant is when you act above other people. What is the definition of arrogance? بطر الحق وغمط النفس, as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. What does that mean? Rejecting the truth and belittling others. When someone is talking and you're talking, you're belittling that person. That's arrogance. When you don't pray on time or don't pray, that's arrogance, because humbling yourself is a sign of servitude. You don't do that. You don't, it's always good for you. It's so respectful. There's nothing better than manners. The first thing that the first fruit you get from your religion is manners. That's the first thing. That's why Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. Religion produces good manners. What made Prophet Muhammad ﷺ so successful in his da'wah? What made him so loved by people who look like they cannot defend themselves from their poverty and from they're so scrawny, when one of the disbelievers came and he saw the respect of these Sahaba radiallahu anhum to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he went back to the people and he said, you cannot deal with these guys. They love Muhammad ﷺ to the point that they will give up everything they have for him. What made them do that? It is his care, it is his manners, it is his mercy, it is his love. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned and told us about him that he bothers him. Can you imagine if any of you in this school hurts, I feel bad? He sallallahu alayhi wasallam was feeling for 124,000 companions. When he knows or hears someone in aching, he's aching. What is that? That's called manners. That's called love for other people. That's called respect for other people. When he sees something, he approaches it gently. How do you get that? Look at the result. Other prophets, they come and they don't have a single person. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came in a matter of 23 years. He's going to be the one with the most followers. Most followers than Prophet Nuh, who spent how many years? 950 years. The manners of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ exceeded every limit and made him superior to every other prophet. And we should have that, we should carry that. So don't come and tell me you get 100 in a test, or you pray in jama'ah and all of that, and a teacher is speaking and you're speaking and someone is doing, you're disrespecting, not paying attention, not talking, and looking down at other people, and you're going to be looking at good? No, you're not. You're not even close to it. In fact, your righteousness fires back. Fires back in two ways. You lose respect, and you made religion, Islam, lose respect in the eyes of others, so you get the punishment of disrespecting and the punishment of other people looking down at Islam because of you. Wallahi, sometimes you see someone misbehaving on the freeway or on the road or something, cutting you off or cussing you or doing something. You can do something back, but when you look at yourself, I dress like a Muslim, I look like a Muslim, I just swallow it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because I don't want someone to say, oh, this is what Muslims do. The same way. So what is this? Manners. This is how you call people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't have that respect, you don't have that mercy for other people, it's not going to work. It's not by walking like an imam, barely walk, or having a beard, or having your dress like this and all that, and you call yourself a sheikh of the century. It doesn't work like that. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ wants you to penetrate people. He wants you to walk with people. He wants you to get in people. He wants you to mix with people and invite people and do all that. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to go to the Kaaba when 360 stone idols were there, and he used to call people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He did not bury himself and sit in the house until they remove all the idols and everything, then he goes. No. You want to go and talk to people and invite people, know your limits, know what's right and what's wrong and what's halal and haram, and do that. But for us to come and memorize the Quran and memorize the hadith and memorize the textbooks and get hundreds, and then we have no relationship, we don't know how to talk, we have no respect, we have no mercy, we have no love, and you call that Islam? We're far away from Islam. We're not even close to Islam. If you don't deal with people properly, you're doing all of your faith wrong.